Hey everybody and welcome to Magic Mondays. I'm David, that's Christian, that's Josh. Guys, hello. How you doing?
Great, man.
Do you have a mic on?
I do.
Curious? Okay.
It's very hidden.
Oh, I like it. Yours is always hidden by your beard.
I'm
anyway.
assuming
I
that
love
you can
it.
still hear me, but
I hope so. That'd be really funny.
That
if
is
it
sleek.
is.
I'm looking on the TV and
You can't even see. I'm the only one with a mic showing. This is really. I'll have to fix that next time.
You gotta
anyway,
get your professional polo.
I know. I do need a professional unrivaled polo. I feel so sad. I guess that makes me unique. No, it doesn't. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to the show.
Doesn't mean you're useful.
That's very true. Anyway, want to give a big shout out to Isaac Gonzalez. He's probably playing Gears of War right now because he has this week off. Lucky guy. But Isaac, it was great meeting you and the rest of everybody up there at Vanguard. Had a blast with the Falcons on Friday, talking to him about gaming and whatnot. And Mr. Bateman's math class. Guys, if you want to get your kids ahead in math, teach them how to play Magic.
True.
Simple numbers, addition, subtraction, real quick, makes a big difference.
Right.
And that's a math teacher telling me this. Like, this isn't just me saying it. So anyway, how was your weekend, guys?
It's good.
Good?
Great. A lot of magic.
Lot of magic?
A lot of magic.
A lot of magic.
Yeah.
More magic in the weekend than I've gotten to do the last couple of months, needless to say.
Oh, that makes me happy. We're drafting.
I did some drafts, participated in the PPTQ, so
It was good times.
it was fun.
How was the
I
PPTQ?
also got to play in the PPTQ. It was
What?
the first time I got to play a PPTQ.
Did you remember how to play?
Not really. I
Yeah.
was shuffling. But yeah, it was great. The PPTQ had 64 players. Well, actually,
that's awesome.
65 players, and then
Hello.
one player dropped out to make it one
Save
less
us a round.
You
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
Which was
really?
good.
That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
What a nice guy.
Did you give him like some free stuff or whatever? 'Cause-
He's a level 3 judge in the area.
So he's okay?
He helped them kind of run the tournament.
Oh, that's
64 is
cool.
a bit more than they thought they were going to get for a sealed deck, so
True.
he helped out.
That's
But,
pretty
yeah,
awesome.
It was awesome.
No, that's cool. Anything you noticed at PBTQ? Anything kind of stand out card-wise? Any specific cards being used, decks? Anything?
I mean, it seemed to be, with sealed, it's so hard, it's just the luck of the draw, what you get. But it seemed like Pirates did pretty well. A lot of people running variations, whether it be blue-black or whether it being red-black.
Definitely.
Seemed pretty powerful, just because then even if you're hosed, a lot of them are low casting costs, you're still able to get
Right.
stuff out. And then Merfolk seemed to run pretty well too.
Look,
just
guys, you can't.
stacking.
You can't. No one runs. No one plays Merfolk.
Fish, I saw
Alright,
some
no
fish.
fish. Come on.
Yeah, I saw some
Green
fish.
blue decks, man.
They're fast, man, and
Well,
they stack up quick.
Right, and
All
that
of a
was
sudden,
the-
2020 through there.
And that was the thing we
Just
talked
getting fish
about.
on fire.
Once someone actually took the time to look at the Merfolk cards, someone's gonna figure out, because again, everyone's looking for the dinosaurs, everyone's looking for tyrants and monosaurs and big old huge things. So, ooh, this is professional.
I'm live.
We're live, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, we live.
Got it.
But you knew it wasn't gonna be too long before someone was like, "Oh, look, I'm being passed every
Title
Merfolk,
guys.
and I'm gonna get copies of everything and really just crush stuff." So anyway, well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you got to play some Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time.
28th, not my proudest moment, but hey, top half.
Top half.
I
that's
literally
it.
had a run of 4 games in a row that I got hosed. Like I was on turn 9 with 4 land, 3 land.
Ooh.
And I had 4 forests in my deck, and I had multiplication where they're like, "Oh, you have land." I was like, "I have 4 of these, and I have 3 forests in play." Like the math, I don't get it. You know, compared to like I was like, "Can I get a plains? Can I get a mountain? Something I have a little bit more of?" Nope.
But like,
So-
can a man get a planes?
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah. Just one.
Is there?
Oh, you need 2? Not getting it.
I was gonna say, is it worse when you just need the one and can't get it, or when you have the one and you just need one more?
I'm just praying. I'm like, can it be?
They're both
Nope. Can it be?
No.
No. Can it be? No.
Absolutely not.
So here's my question, because this is always something I find fascinating. The idea of like, I just don't even want to know what would come next, because what's it gonna do other than drive me crazy? Did you go through then once the
No.
game was over and you're like, when was it coming?
No.
And then you're like, oh, bro, like 8 more turns than I had it.
The only time
Because that you hear,
I never
like,
do it anymore.
yeah,
like-
the only time I do that is when I mulligan, because I'm like, should I have done it? And I'm like, yeah.
yeah,
I
but now the new
should've.
mulligan rule, you get to do that.
I don't even look at the mulligans anymore either. I don't ever want to know what the top card is. I'm just like, I'm mulligan.
What good? It's just gonna make you, just gonna drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Anyway, World Champions happened.
I did win 2 drafts.
Oh, that's our boy. Nice. As long as I'm
Vampires on one and dinosaurs on another.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vampires winning. That's. Don't hear too many vampire stories.
No.
A lot of pirates, a lot of dinosaurs.
It hit people by surprise.
Yeah.
Like, black, white, what's that? Vampires,
Life
boom,
drain.
dead.
Everything's got one lifeline.
Oh, you hit me for
Absolutely.
8? Cool, I'm at 24. All right.
Yeah.
Swing with everybody.
You gonna balk all this damage coming in?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna gain it all back next turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's great.
That was the biggest takeaway. Like even in losses, though, like I sat and I was like, this was one of the funnest seals I have. And like normally, like yeah, I won, but
And
it was like
Super fun.
Pre-release,
just-
same thing.
it was just a great. This is a great set. It's great for Magic because everything's so serious with being competitive, and it's like it's not as. There's still great cards in the set, but
Sure.
it doesn't feel like it's serious. So you just have a good time. Like cool dinosaurs. There's I think it goes back to the days with Kids and stuff like that. Sometimes there's too much tribal, but this tribal is good. I think it's a good balance, and I'm excited to see standard. What changes come. I know there's some after this weekend, but
Well, yeah, a couple things. Oh, so that leads us into Worlds. So Worlds happened this weekend. Congratulations to Jensen and
Baby Huey.
Baby Huey taking it home.
He is one of the most deserving people that I've ever known. Like,
How many years has it
I have
been?
a plethora of stories that I can tell about him because he's been playing Magic the entire time that I have.
Right.
At like a super high level. So even when I was just starting out playing Magic, he was one of the guys you kind of watched to that was even like well respected by other professionals. Like
Sure.
you would see him on teams with other like high level professionals, like a person like a John Finkel or a Bob Maher, and you would see Rochester drafts going on.
Right.
For those of you that don't know Rochester draft, it is a form of booster draft where instead of everybody opening their packs at the same time, one player opens their packs and lays them out face up in the middle of the table, and then you go around the table and back around selecting cards face up. So everybody gets to see your draft cards. And in a team scenario, you usually had one person who called the shots for the team.
Right.
And it was always your best player, the person
Sure.
who was, devising your strategy, that was always William Jensen, no matter who he was with. He's on a team with John Finley, he's still the one calling the shots,
Right.
I mean, an early Team Pro Tour champion, he's just awesome, just like such a nice guy. You see him at the tournament, he's consistently like professional, respectful.
Sure.
He's always the one to shake your hand. He's always the one to like, if you ask him a question, win, lose, or draw, you ask him a question after the game, he'll sit there and discuss things with
Right.
you. He'll talk about you. I've seen him once, we were at a tournament in Utah, and we were outside discussing something else, and a small kid ran out, was, crying and angry about something, angry about his deck. It took all of about 2 seconds for William Jensen to stop the conversation he was having with other players and walk over to this kid, you know what I mean? Literally get down there and be like, hey, this kid recognizes me, like, hey man, what's up? Like, why did this go wrong? And, well, let me see your deck and we'll work out it together, we'll figure it out. I'll give you some pointers, don't worry about it. I mean, literally took a kid from like crying, angry about Magic to,
Super excited again.
super stoked, jumping up and down, coming back in like, oh, William Jensen helped me with my deck, So it was definitely great.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're getting, for those of you not in California, there's a fire near us.
No parks. Don't hang out in parks.
Yeah, don't go to parks, guys.
Not right now.
But no, hopefully everyone in the area is good. If you need to go evacuate, go evacuate.
Yeah, if you're around the city of Orange, definitely
probably
look at
don't want to
your
be there.
Evacuation schedule, check online, your Facebook. I mean, you can't really miss it when they're digging into every phone, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't mess with fire. It's not
good.
You won't win.
You'll get burned.
Don't play with fire. I mean,
That's what we were taught.
Yeah.
By the bear guy.
Stop,
Right?
drop, roll.
Smokey.
That was only you can prevent forest fires.
That's true.
Now
I feel like that's a lot of pressure.
Now it really is only you can prevent forest
Yeah.
fires since they defunded the EPA and Smokey the Bear. It really is all on
Up to you. Well, that's a whole different
So
issue.
remember,
Anyway.
only
All right.
you can prevent forest fires.
Back to Mr. Jensen. What's really funny is watching Twitter on Sunday. A lot of times you're like, oh, hey, congrats. Magic will put out there, hey, congrats to so-and-so. And the community is like, yeah, well played. But this was like overall love fest. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Jensen. So excited, like, oh, finally, and like, that's awesome. Like, it's kind of one of the first outpourings of true, like, genuine. Like, I'm really glad this guy won.
Yeah.
Like, I'm disappointed I didn't, but I'm really not hating life. Like, I'm stoked that dude won. That was really cool.
Yeah. I even, right before we came in here, I saw on social media 2 of the other players in the top 4 were also some of the first people that were like, couldn't really be happier with this outcome.
Right.
Like, he's been, you know, a positive force of Magic since the beginning. All
Right,
around nice
exactly.
guy. He works hard. He doesn't expect things. He's, I mean, just.
He's a grinder.
He's like,
I mean,
he's like the Wayne Gretzky of Magic. Like, you'd have to look really, really hard to find anybody who'd even say
a bad
single
thing
bad
about him.
thing
Yeah.
about the guy. Like, even when he's just beaten you, it's like, well,
you know, it's interesting though because so looking at his deck then from Sunday, you know, he went Temur Energy, not surprising per se.
right.
You know, this deck seems to right now still be pretty dominant in standard.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
You know, there's nothing in here that is obviously from Ixalan, but you know, it's one of those things like it's a consistent deck. It's amazing how consistent he's gotten this, and the pulls that they're getting are all pretty strong.
Let me stop you for 1 second.
Other than land.
There is an Ixalan card in here. Rootbound Craig is
So
a
other than the
4-hour
land,
in this
other
blue-green
than
red
the
deck.
land, which you'll see consistently other, you know, other than the dual lands, which of course you put.
Those new dual lands too, I think something people probably missed was their interaction with the other lands.
Right.
Which is, I mean, just having it come into play on tap land just
That's huge.
is awesome for a
Yeah.
deck like this, you know. And now they have essentially 11 of them that'll come into play untapped.
Right.
You know, tons of lands in the early game that come into play untapped.
Right.
Very
No.
little drawback for having a third color in there.
So it's one of those things like Christian mentioned, you know, Ixalan's so much fun to do sealed. And, you know, even looking in the sealed, we had Merfolk were really strong. We had a couple dinosaurs, but they weren't the red-green. We had more white-green in the dinosaur builds. We had a lot of pirates. We had the pirate-vampire hybrid, which was lots of fun. Because that was just pirates and vampire tokens left, right, and center.
Yep.
So that's always, I mean, hopefully they had all the tokens. But, you know, you had little 1/1s and 2/2s running around everywhere, and no one was really sure what to do.
Well, if you participated in Friday Night Magic this week, there's a new Friday Night promo, and I believe that's going forward. I didn't bring it with me, but you got it's a double-sided token too, so it's
I'm
a vampire
leaving,
token.
man. I'm just,
and
this is why are we here?
and a treasure token.
And a treasure token.
And it's foily. So you can be like,
shiny.
I have blinged tokens.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, 2 of the decks though that were in the top 4, Black Blue Control, and here's where we saw one. Well, basically a black and a blue that have basically entered into that standard thing. Vraska's Contempt. Turns out she's really full of it. Lots and lots of contempt. Oh wait, guys.
Oh, what?
There we go.
Here we go. Our man Alfredo, our director extraordinaire Alfredo, coming in the clutch. Turns out here's your Friday night. If you go play Friday Night Magic, we get a little thing. Can we go card cam? So ooh, shiny on one side.
Look at that bling vampire. Look, it makes it look like treasure.
That's shiny gold.
It looks like treasure. Look at it. Look
That
at
is
it.
cool. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
No, and again, I like the tokens. I like that you get them now more consistently.
Yeah, I think people are gonna be stoked on them because the sense that, like, when like Fatal Push comes up, like everyone's like, oh my god, I didn't get the Fatal Push. A little salty, so it's like everyone can be happy with it, you know.
Yeah, I like it. I like shiny things. They're fun. But no, so black.
I'm having no foils in my deck, just foil tokens.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Going
I mean,
against
it's a
the
choice.
Very fancy.
It's a choice. It could take a while. Vraska's Contempt. Obviously, 2 black, 2 colorless, exile target creature or planeswalker.
Yup.
And gain 2 life.
And gain 2 life. She's so contemptful.
It's jumping.
She's so full of contempt. This card, I mean, in both black blues, it was there, and it's.
I mean, it's awesome.
I mean, it's one of those-
basically their best way to deal with things. Something that would have been really bad, like any Resolved God
Yeah,
for a black blue deck normally, like
yeah.
just really tough.
What are you gonna do?
Like getting rid of the Hazoret or whatever. Now they have a way to exile it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is one of those cards that like, It feels like a very rare. You're getting maybe one a box if you're lucky.
Correct. 2 boxes have 0.
So,
Jeez.
but she's showing up in standard. I'm guessing she's going to be all over the place. Any format you can think of. Just that ability to exile and exile a planeswalker is really strong.
Especially
2
with-
life is just a bonus. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Having the
Yeah.
stuff coming back from the graveyard too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, like, in some of the older formats, like, you know, like in Modern or whatever, like,
Sure.
a Hero's
We'll see.
Downfall
Right.
even sometimes is a little bit slow for Modern.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see if it can, like, make the push to there. Again, like you said, the 2 life being a small bonus is a bonus, but against a deck in Modern, like against a red
you
deck,
got
like,
red,
you're barely ever going to be able to
Yeah.
pass that card. You
Especially-
know? But
especially at
in
4.
Standard, like, I mean,
But
if you remember the last time Hero's Downfall was in Standard, it basically, when Hero's Downfall came out, there was a lot of black cards around it, but it basically created a line of 2 years where there was some sort of black control deck with it. Just
Yeah.
having that Omni answer that lets you answer things around things on the board. It gives
Yeah.
you the choice of letting something onto the board.
Sure.
If you don't have that kind of Omni answer, you're kind of locked into having to counter
Sure.
things, having to use discard spells to get around really problematic things. Like, go
Well-
back a month ago, the control decks, if I got Chandra from Torch of Defiance onto the board,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was really hard for you to kill it. Like, you needed to be able to play Torrential Gear Hulk almost immediately after
Right.
it and attack
Absolutely.
it. And if Chandra's coming down on turn 4, Torrential Gear Hulk's not really an option.
Yeah.
That became a really difficult thing for a control deck to deal with. So
And
this
one
card
of the-
opens up just.
Yeah, and what's interesting though too is, so in these control decks that we had before, there's something to be said for letting someone actually play the card. Like obviously countering it, right? You're going to counter the card, it goes away. They're like, okay, they countered this. So, as the opponent, you're thinking, okay, what are they going to do this? If I actually let you get the card down, your brain starts going, okay, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop this. And then I exile it. That plan goes away.
Yep. No, definitely.
And even more than the counter, well, if this hits, then what? But there's something to almost be said where, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let it hit. And I'm going to see what you're going to do with it before I'm going to deal with it. But I can just know that I can deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that kind of changes things. And then the other one, search for Escanta. Obviously, really, being able to look at the top card of your deck before you draw, it's always really strong. In the flip, just keep flipping drawing cards. Nothing wrong with that.
No, yep, absolutely. And leading up to it, it's, is the top card something you need, or are you digging?
Yeah.
And even until it becomes impulse, it'll do a lot of the things you're needing.
Exactly.
It comes down early before the other threats. Again, the increase in removal and having fatal push and other things like that allow you to play it earlier without leaving yourself totally vulnerable.
Yeah.
Then it's a card that just increases your card quality. If you're needing to find a land, you can get rid of the non-lands. If you're needing to find another one, you can.
And
just
looking-
control the pace of the game a lot better.
And it's like you said, looking at it, you're looking for fatal pushes, you're looking for the contempts, you're looking for just disallows. And so this allows you to do it. And even, like you said, in the later stage, you may already have 7 cards in your graveyard.
Right.
So you're playing it and then flipping it.
Yep.
And
then just
downside?
digging.
and then you're just
digging.
going and getting stuff.
Digging.
And once the controller gets to that point where that's flipped, it's incredibly hard to deal with the amount of extra cards they're going to be getting. Because the trade 1-for-1 game is, if you're trading 1-for-1, 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 but if one of you adds on that I can just look at the top 4 and put any card in my hand each turn, that 1-for-1 trade game is no longer something you can really overcome.
I'm not so much trading as just, getting ahead. Anyway.
Shout out to, that's funny because I get to say the name, to Swag Dealer 47.
What's up, buddy?
Shout out. Say hello.
Hey, Swaggy. Do you call him Swaggy?
No.
Oh, okay. It'd be fun if you did. Anyway, of the
Swaggy
3 decks in
Bombastic.
top
He's
4,
the
random up red. Speaking of Chandra's Torch of Defiance,
There it is.
there she
Right
is.
there at the top.
I like that he starts with just 1 in the deck, but he's got 3 more just in case it becomes an issue.
Yeah. Or again, going towards the slower decks. She's
Yeah.
another thing that, consistent damage once you get her down. She's a great thing to end with. Any decks that are going to try to be wrathing the board, using any kind of Wrath of God or the black
Sure.
cards that clear all the creatures out of the way. the idea with that is that against those decks, especially when you're on the play, you pressure them with the early creatures, and when they respond with the turn 4, turn 5, something to sweep or a Vraska's Contempt, try to bring them back into the game, your response is to put a Chandra on the board that's now going to provide, you know,
I'm worried we lost Josh's
exponential more
camera.
damage.
Because I feel like it's really awkward for everyone to sit here seeing me not talk and hear Josh's voice.
Yeah.
Did we lose Alfredo? Did he fall asleep?
Alfredo's
Alfredo, are you okay?
He's like worried about
thank God.
microphones and
thank
my
God.
beard. And
Okay. Cool.
I think he's jealous.
All right. No, I mean it's
better?
that is better. I like to see when Josh talks because he says really good things. One of
Do a show
the
like this?
the only the only thing that really kind of cracked from Ixalan in his main deck, obviously 4 lightning strikes. You know, obviously the lightning bolt's probably never coming back into
would think
standard.
not.
But here you've got lightning strike again. You know, 2 to do 3 damage to either creature or player. You know, obviously it's a reprint, but I'm kind of glad it's back. You know, it's a lot of damage
Oh, yes.
for 2. So, you know, he's got the shocks, he's got the abrades in here, so he's doing some pretty decent damage to people, which is kind of fun. And then one of my favorite cards, Rampaging Ferocidon, you know, didn't crack the main deck, but in the sideboard, you know, and kind of thinking about it, it's like, okay, against Mardu, like they're dropping creatures left, right, and center trying to get that energy.
Yep, sure.
Take a damage every time.
Also, there's a couple token decks coming up before Worlds that, I mean, didn't make as big of a showing as the people thought.
Right.
But, I mean, you know,
Just in case,
still a 3/3.
I've
still
got a
dealing some damage.
3/3 menace that doesn't let you gain life, and it only cost me 3. It's pretty strong. So,
Yeah.
I was you know pleasantly surprised to see him in there. You know, funny that he's really the only dinosaur that obviously cracked the top 4. He may be one of the only few that actually cracked standard for a while.
Yep. It's very possible.
You know, so we'll have to kind of wait and see there.
Yeah, the next set will really what it adds, subtracts.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I think adding more, anytime you go tribal, when everything leading up to it doesn't have that tribe, it limits it. We'll see with the expansion. We'll obviously see what the queen brings to the table. I'm really hoping that it's a thing. But no, again, congratulations. Congratulations to Jensen. I think it was a fun event all weekend.
Yeah.
The drafts were great, you know, and then obviously just Sunday turned into a big love fest, and it was a lot of fun.
We got
So,
another, the Kelvin Chu, Back Control, that has the search for Azcanta.
yeah, they
That
all,
found its way there.
that's, well, and he even went even further. He went in through an Argos Bloodfast, so he put the black enchantment, and he also included Duress on his sideboard, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Duress is one of those cards that's been around forever.
Yep.
And it's kind of come back, and
It's it's even better now than it was before because he gets rid of planeswalkers.
yeah,
So let's get rid of a non-creature, non-land. So I mean, against a deck like the Mirror Match,
right,
really the only thing in the Mirror Match is not going to hit is Scarab God and Torrential Gearhulk.
right.
So I mean, it's kind of like becomes an answer all for that.
Yeah. Well, and it also can help you get rid of Chandra early. You know, which, God, again.
Saga the first? Urza Saga? That Duress is first?
I believe that was the
Yeah.
first printing was an Urza Saga.
So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. They're gonna make Urza a planeswalker one day. I know it.
One day.
One day they're gonna finally wake up and realize the
Next
man's
year.
a genius.
Bring back
Oh.
Gerard, man.
No.
What?
No.
What?
I don't know. I have no real reason.
They made
Um,
Karn into one. He's
Oh,
come back
okay,
in
so
the-
apparently why Duress when I can kite sail Booter? Because kite sail Booter you have to have raided that turn. And Duress you don't.
You don't have to raid with him, right? He's just the one that when he comes into play, he exiles a card for as long as he's in play.
Oh, that's right.
He's a 1/2 flyer. Sometimes keeping things on the board is hard. Sometimes you just really, really want to fit it in really nicely. You don't want that card to come back if anything else happens to it. Also in the control matchups, honestly, like it seems like it would be good to like have an early creature, but if you think about like having the early creature, the benefit of it is it's going to be able to attack for a few times for one. The blue-black decks don't really battle planeswalkers, right? So like being able to ding the other player's planeswalker for one, really not
Sure.
doing it for you. Being able to keep anything like that in, really not doing it for you. Some amount of removal will still probably need to stay in the decks.
Sure.
To be able to deal with Torrential Gearhulks or Scarab Gods.
Well,
So,
those
like,
are the only
they
two
might leave
creatures.
in- They might
Yeah.
leave in some amount of Vraska's Contempts to be able to deal with
Right.
that guy.
Well,
Just
and those
random things like that, I think. But also just
Yeah, and
being
then-
2 mana and not 1 mana is,
Sure.
I mean,
that makes a
that
difference.
right there is,
Yeah.
my turn, 7 play being able to, duress your hand and then main phase a Torrential Gearhulk to copy something else that drew me cards after I got rid of your counter. Now puts me with a huge threat on the board. I've just drawn extra cards. I've just done things, and I'm passing back to you knowing that your hand didn't have an answer for it.
That
So being
feels
able to
good.
do those things early is probably,
Yeah.
Yeah.
also
that-
a huge concern.
So that would be the advantage for me, is getting to see your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
That'd be the separation. It's like, okay, and it's gone. It's dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's gone.
it's gone.
No, I mean, obviously, blue-black control right now is really only running the 2 creatures, the God, the Scarab God and Torrential Gearhulk. So in the mirror match, that's the only thing you're looking for. But against something, even red, you're pulling the Chandra. Like, just don't even deal with it.
Yep.
Don't even want it to hit the board. Don't even want it in your hand. I want it to live in misery in the graveyard. Because I hate that card. But anyway, that's just me personally. Okay, so obviously Worlds happened, and this is where Alfredo's gonna hook us up right now with some sweet, sweet graphic love. Magic made a big announcement this weekend, and here it is, right there. Guys, I don't know if you know this. The logo changed. This is now the new official logo for Magic the Gathering.
I like the layout.
Now, here's the thing. They said they're not changing the card backs, so the card backs aren't going to change. So we're still going to have our 5 mana circle.
Yeah.
But this is this is now the logo for Magic the Gathering. So I'm going to go initial thoughts. Got any?
I'm less excited than most people about the logo change. I didn't really think there was a whole lot wrong with their old logo. I love the 5 mana dots. I love the logo that's on the back of the cards. To me, it just kind of is.
If it ain't wrong, don't fix it. It's been around for 30 years, so.
Yeah.
Or
To me, it
almost
feels like kind of
20 something.
when they changed the
25,
borders,
20
it was the same
good.
thing. They changed the
Right.
borders, and it was like, it's going to change everything. And I'm like, I don't.
Can I tell you
really
that's my
care.
favorite
Like, I'm not
question
a
when
big-
people ask, why'd they go from a white border to a black border? I'm like, I don't know, it was Friday, they felt they could.
Right.
Like, is there a legitimate reason? I'm sure if you really dug deep, they would be like, well, this is why. Harder to duplicate or print fake ones if it's,
That, I think it's just the white
Whatever.
border got dirty.
yeah.
I mean, not that the other ones don't, but it shows.
Certainly, the white borders
Yeah.
got dirty quicker.
That-
I'm solidly under. They should have kept white borders for all core sets. All core set foils should be black border, and every other set should be black bordered.
Okay, that's fair.
The unset should all be silver bordered, and then the collector's edition sets or the other cool sets they do should be gold bordered.
Well, okay, so I had 2 thoughts. One, I'm like, why? I think I was with you guys, like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't like the font.
but then, of course, thinking about it, so they've got their new online game coming out. That's the logo that they've been using for all the Xbox and like the PS4 Magic the Gathering games. So they're just like, does this mean we get too close to pushing away from the actual cards? Are we going electronic now? Is that what the focus is? I mean, obviously that creates some. Again, it's a cool logo. I don't dislike it. I'm not a huge fan of the font, but
I
that's
like
a
the
whole
font
different
of
thing.
Magic.
Right.
Black looks fine. Like the spacing, the layout.
Everything looks fine,
A
but
little bling on the Planeswalker there.
obviously
like,
they're never gonna not make cards.
I
But
do like
is this
that
more-
there's a spark behind the Planeswalker symbol. I
yeah.
haven't noticed that until now, but the fact that the Planeswalker symbol has
Has
a
a
Planeswalker spark behind it has endeared this logo to me a little bit more.
Okay, well there's a spark inside of you.
do you have the Allspark?
Aww. By the way, ex-Lord Chelsea, totally agreeing with Josh about the right borders.
Yeah.
Totally agreeing
Yeah,
with
right?
white
He also
borders.
I'm just saying, dude, because foil black bordered core set cards were sweet.
Yeah.
I almost just dropped an F-bomb, that's how sweet they were.
Pretty
Like,
cool.
seriously, the lines, like the lands were
Flippin'
sweet.
sweet.
I would have
Super
allowed it.
flippin' sweet.
Like, that's fine. No,
Freaking-
so this is one of those things, and it's, even speaking with the kids on Friday, they were asking me kind of, what's Magic? Because a lot of the younger kids don't know. Now they know Pokemon, they know Yu-Gi-Oh! So it always raises that question, what would you rather have? Would you rather, obviously, we all, I think, are in agreement, Magic's the far superior game. But if you were going to have to put money into one of them, like, I'd rather be Pokemon because the merchandise you're selling is just absurd. Like, people know Pokemon. You can hug, someone mentioned the other day, you can hug Pikachu. I don't think Jace will let you hug you. For sure, Sandra, you don't want to hug. That's a bad plan. But I mean, it's having those characters now. Obviously, we're talking a kids game versus a much more mature game. But I mean, it wasn't even until we got to Ravnica originally where we started having these stories and this idea that there are planeswalkers who can exist within all the sets. You know, and
I beg to differ.
well, but
There was books a
sure,
little
there
before
were,
Ravnica,
but they
it
weren't
wasn't
necessarily
quite so
tied into the game,
Planeswalker-based.
right? But they
Yeah.
weren't like that. You have the whole Urza's book collection that went along with everything that was going on with him, which was great. But then we moved on, you know. And instead of this time from Ravnica of just moving on, we went ahead and brought some key pieces with us.
Right.
And
It's
then
become-
they kind of
it's become a
stayed and
continuous story
right,
of-
and so now you know basically, oh, hey guys, we need to move areas. We need to reset. What should we do? Oh, I know. Let's have Jace forget everything again. Like,
Right.
where's Jace wake up today? I feel like remember what is it? What was the really bad fraternity house movie they did with American Pie? Beta House. They had the kid who blacked out and he just after drinking too much and he never remembered where he was or how he got there. And he ended up on a plane with some Thai kid. It was really awkward. But I feel like that's Jace. Like, Jace is having a good time. He's out with the ladies. He's out with, you know, whoever. Then he blacks out and wakes up somewhere. He's like, I don't remember what just happened. Who I am or where I am. What's going on? There's a pirate over there. Weird. You know, but that's Jace.
How to get
So,
on this ship?
so how do you market Magic to people who aren't doing it? Again, I think we've discussed before. We like that there are dinosaurs now, and it kind of endears itself to younger players.
Yeah.
The sealed format's really strong right now because it's just so much fun, whether it's pirates, whether it's vampires, whether it's dinosaurs, and no one likes playing Merfolk. You know, but is this just Magic finally waking up and going, you know what, maybe it's time to start trying to get more people? Or do we care?
It's certainly possible. You know, they made attempts before. They had a junior super series. They gave out college scholarships. They actually had a game called Duel Masters for a while.
Yeah.
That was literally Magic Mini. That was basically, you know, the whole goal was to get younger kids into the idea of the game behind Magic. I think the story does a lot for it. I mean, honestly, I mean, the story does a lot for bringing in people that, you know, didn't like Magic before. Like some of the reasons they liked other games was that the story was ongoing.
Yeah.
You know, you have games like Legend of the Five Rings where the story is ongoing and merged into the game. So much that, like in Legend of the Five Rings, when a clan wins world championships, they push the writing about that clan the following year.
Right.
And that's cool. I don't think Magic will ever get to that point, but you know, it's cool that, you know, the characters that you're reading about are actually the characters in the sets. Like directly, as opposed to, you know, the entire book is
And I
based
thought
on one card.
I thought the Avacyn tie-ins were really great with Soren and with Liliana, and then even later on when Emrakul
Actually,
came.
while we're on that, can I just say how much I hate Nahiri? Worst planeswalker ever. Seriously, she's like the Catelyn Stark of Magic. She has done more damage to everybody's favorite cards. It's impossible that she's that incompetent. She's literally just messed up every storyline she's been a part of. Seriously, I wish she would go to the Red Wedding. It's unbelievable how...
Catelyn Stark did go to the Red Wedding.
Yeah, it didn't end well for her.
Yeah, but I wish Nahiri would have been there too. Just the worst. What an ungrateful pile of trash.
I wasn't ready for that.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
Here I was ready to talk about Portal being their first attempt at
I know,
something easy,
right.
and
Yeah.
now Red Wedding. Thinking about nights that I didn't
done, it's
sleep
fine.
because of game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's fine. I'm done. I'm
Twice.
just saying, like, that's why Jason's memory got wiped. That's why Soren's in stone. That's why he had to unmake Abbott. Like,
Yep.
All right, well we got that out. I think he's. Are you okay? Like, yeah, there we go.
It's
Give him a
okay.
hug. Give him a hug.
Woosah.
It's okay.
There we go.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Well, no, I mean, I think anything that reaches new audience, I think obviously that's the goal of any company. But I like the idea that Magic's trying to build up that player base because that's the only way we're going to get more ideas. How to play Magic? What kind of deck things are we looking at? What kind of, what kind of just card combos can we
At the
see?
same time, there was a 7-year-old, I'm Forget
Crushing it? Yes.
Yeah, crushing it.
Yeah, crushing
Send
it.
She was at our PPTQ this weekend as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Crushing it
So-
as well.
Crushing it as well. No,
Narrowly missed the top 8.
and again, guys, like parents out. I mean, it's funny because we all grew up with Magic in high school and whatnot, and now, you know, I have kids. I've started my son on Pokemon because that's what he's interested in, and I'm looking forward to that day when he's like, "Hey, so here's your dinosaur cards." He's already started, and he's getting interested, and he knows those numbers, and it's like we work on his numbers a lot. We play which is the bigger dinosaur. By the way, he pack wars those wins too with that stupid Bronodon, but that's neither here nor there. You know, but it is one of those
Bronodon for the
things.
win.
Anything you can kind of do to help ease people in. Obviously, dinosaurs for young kids is a real easy enter. Pirates too. I mean, pirates are one of those timeless kind of things that you can bring. So I don't know. I don't know if the new logo moves any kind of needle anyway, but it'll be interesting to see that new logo then on boxes and just not
Yes.
seeing
I don't know
the.
if I'm ready.
Well, I hope you're ready because I'm pretty sure Iconic Masters. That's the logo on the box.
I fear change.
So don't fear change. It's okay. Speaking though, and that's a great transition to fearing change. Our man Tim.
Tim.
We
Tim.
have some changes for you. We actually have decided to stop talking about it and be about it. Our man Christian has brought some things so that Tim can change his deck. Now, can we throw Tim's deck up there real quick? Again, it's not Tim's fault. He hasn't played in a long time. Back in the day, this was super strong. Obviously, now there are a few more answers for a lot of these things. We talked about removing the Meek Stones. We even talked about removing the Lotus Petals because his deck should never get really past, what we say, 4 or 5, turn 4, 5, 6. If it gets beyond there, he's in trouble.
You're so much down to have by then.
He's either mana, he's just mana, he's not even mana screwed at that point. He's probably just mana flooded. Like, all he's got is mana. So, okay, Christian has a couple cards for us to look at.
Yeah.
You know, that he brought from himself. So, Tim, I hope you're paying attention, guys. Let us know what you think. This would be a good addition to Tim's deck.
Pretty standard in most Goblin decks. It's going to be here.
Goblin Pile Driver.
Goblin Pile Driver.
Yep.
Yep. Protection blue. It attacks. It gets big. That comes out.
Yeah.
My only
Yeah.
problem with this one in particular is it's the new version of Goblin Pile Driver.
Oh.
The original was an Onslaught, and this one doesn't have flavor text.
Oh,
Which only
sad
disappoints
times.
me because the original is one of my favorite flavor texts in all of Magic, and the original Goblin Pile Driver's flavor text says, "Throw enough goblins at any problem, ... and at very least you'll have less goblins."
Well, look, he's
it's
ripping.
flavorful for its idea,
He's
he's,
ripping the helmet off of whoever this poor soldier is. I can't tell if the soldier's gonna bite his arm there.
I think he's trying to bite the arm to get him off, and the goblin
Right.
is basically just gouging at his
But
eyes.
anyway, the advantage though of the pile driver, +2/+0 until the end of turn for each other attacking goblin. So Tim's got a bunch of these on the board. All of a sudden, we're swinging for quite a bit.
Right.
So getting rid of stuff.
Got a couple 1-drops here, though. We should probably start with these just to point out.
All right.
Beginning here.
So the Legion Loyalist, 1/1 haste.
Mm-hmm.
Battalion, I know. Now, Battalion Tim is one of those things that is whenever there are 2 other attacking creatures with him, you gain first strike and trample until the end of the turn and can't be blocked by creature tokens this turn. So
And that's for all of your creatures, not
everything.
just him.
that's trample, first strike. That's
A lot of abilities. And not being able to be blocked by tokens means the spirits, 1/1 lifelink vampires, all that kind of stuff can't block
can't help
either.
you. And especially with the Goblin Pile Driver, you're attacking with 3 people. All of a sudden, he gets +6. And he's got trample and first strike. That means damage is getting through. All right, what's the second one? Goblin Guide.
Yep.
Goblin Guide. Okay, let's move this one over a little bit. Goblin Guide 2/2 for 1 with haste. When a Goblin Guide attacks, defending player reveals the top card of his library. If it's a land card, that player puts it into his or her hand. Do we care? I mean,
Not really.
No.
Not, you're playing
Super
playing for the
fast,
jugular.
efficient
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, 2/2 haste. That feels pretty good turn 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Tim, we're getting you speedy, boy. I hope you got your shoes tied on tight because these goblins are ready to go. So we got 2 haste. Both of them cost 1. Both of them with abilities. I think that just kind of help them put over the top. All right.
And if it's not a land, then you get to see what's coming.
Exactly. And it doesn't go in their hand, it goes right back on top. So that's always fun.
All right, we had a 2-drop there. Should have rearranged these here. Any
No,
other
it's
thing
okay.
coming up?
War Chief is the most important one.
The War Chief is the most important one.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's go ahead and skip past it. This is a
yeah,
must.
This has
You're
to go
playing
in
goblins. This is a
there.
must.
Yeah, 2/2 for 3. Your goblin spells cost 1 less, colorless to cast, and goblin creature control have haste. So everything's getting haste. This is just go. By the way, Goblin War Chief, does it give himself haste?
Yes.
Yes. So the key
He is
difference from
also
a
a
lot of
goblin.
things. He is
So
a goblin.
At his
he gets
worst,
the
he's
haste.
a 2/2 with haste for 3. He also makes all of your goblins cheaper, which means that like on turn 4, a lot of times, you have like one goblin in play, it's not very intimidating, they'll attack you, and you untap and you play a Goblin War Chief and a Pile Driver, you can now attack with both, and you're looking at attacking with, 8, 9, 11 damage with just a handful of cards.
Right, and again, think about like Tim's deck. Obviously he does have some direct damage in there as well, so you can kind of keep things at bay. But building up for this kind of drop, where all of a sudden, turn 4, turn 5, you're dropping 2, 3, 4 goblins. That's pretty strong. Feels pretty good about that. What else you got for us, Christian?
Get a couple, couple bombs in there.
A couple larger ones.
Yeah, let's see if we can arrange those right.
All right. So we'll start with Krenko, legendary, 3/3 for 4. Tap him, you get to put X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens on the battlefield where X number of goblins you control. So now we're just making goblin tokens left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And that's got to feel good.
And again, it's another card. If you play him with that War Chief, he has haste as soon as he hits the board, and he can use that ability immediately. So he's literally coming in and making a bunch of other goblin tokens
that
now
can also
have
can
haste.
attack.
Yep.
And you put that pile driver with it, and that feels really good too. And then we've got our Siege Gang Commander, 2/2
Who
for
could also
5,
be your turn 4 because it costs 1 less.
with your
That
War
you
Chief.
got-
Yeah.
Exactly, and then you're getting 3 guys that can attack right away.
3 1/1s right on the field, and I also like you can sacrifice a goblin and he deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So later in the game, especially you got that mana laying around, you only need 1 or 2 more points of damage on something.
Oh yeah.
That's game.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yep,
okay,
he will
so
get you there.
I mean, obviously these will help speed up Tim's deck tremendously. Got any more? Got anything else?
We thought goblins. I mean, these are some of the things that you can toy around with, see what you like. I know 3 don't necessarily fit the camera here, but they all
That's
kind of have the same.
We'll go
same
one at a
ability.
time.
Go one at a time.
We'll
you
go
can
one
rapid
at a time.
fire.
Those
So-
first ones we went over were kind of a way of making the goblin deck a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Not just 1 drops, not just 1 toughness guys, but a way of kind of giving you some 3s and 4 drops. One of the
With
things
the same
about,
speed.
Right. One of the things about that goblin lackey, he's the 1/1 for 1. Whenever he hits a
Yeah.
player, you're going to put a goblin into play. It's not very intimidating if you're only putting in a 1/1 or a 2/1.
Yep.
Right.
But if you're putting in something like a Krenko Mob Boss, a Goblin War Chief, a Siege
Oh,
Gang
yeah.
Commander on
Oh,
turn
yeah.
2, like
Suddenly, well, it makes it so now I have to block his goblin lackey.
right.
Because I'm a little concerned. So here we have Krenko's command. We're dropping 2 1/1s on the battlefield.
Fodder, same
Ooh,
ability.
little fodder, same ability. We're putting some more tokens onto the battlefield, and then Hordeling Outburst 3 onto the battlefield for 3. So again, we're getting all these goblins out there, and the idea then with that pile driver, your pile driver suddenly is just, I mean, it is a pile driver. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, what else you got for us? That's
Also,
it.
before we leave that,
Oh,
the
go back.
Colligan card, the dragon on this card is one of the most ferocious looking in the background, chasing the 3 little goblins.
Yeah.
Is Colligan. That's one of the most ferocious looking dragon pictures I've seen in Magic in a while. I mean, he is vicious there.
Those are Colligan
I mean,
goblins.
yeah, those-
Absolutely. He's doing that to the goblins who serve him.
Yeah.
Just think what he does to the people who don't serve him. Like the followers of Ojutai or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The monastery mentors.
That's
Wouldn't want to
frightening.
be on his bad side.
Now.
Good jam right here.
So here's another option. Just Warren Instigator to double strike. Obviously, really huge.
So this is
Deals-
somebody that might not get blocked because another creature's gonna die.
Yeah. You may put a goblin creature card from your hand on the battlefield. So again, this is just like your lackey. 2/1. God, if you put Bloodthirst on that, because I know that's his favorite card. Like your first strike
Bloodlust.
and hit. Yeah,
Ten
Bloodlust.
damage.
Ooh, boy, that's a lot of damage.
Yep.
I don't know what you're not hitting with that. So yeah, look, double strike is one of those things. Like it can be a game changer.
Definitely.
So
Couple things to splash. I think you might have had one of these already. I don't know, Goblin King. Forgot to look at the thing. I mean, if you didn't, what are you doing in a Goblin deck without the King?
So Goblin King +1/+1. All creatures gain Mountain Walk. Now we have talked to Tim about this, and this is one of the things Tim said. Well, not everyone I play has mountains. Do we care?
No.
No. We want +1/+1 to all goblins.
Every one of those
Because-
1/1s are now 2/2s, so instead of doing 5
Right.
damage, you're doing 10 damage.
So, and here's my question, Josh: Have they adjusted the Goblin King, because it says all goblins? So does the Goblin King become a 3/3? Or did they actually adjust at all others in the other printings? So I feel like it's an early print.
You know, I think the current one might be a goblin who says all other goblins get +1/+1
it is
and
all
Mountain
others.
Walk.
Correct.
Yeah.
I want to say they got rid of Lord, and I feel bad that I don't know offhand.
That's
I
okay.
I believe it's
I
all
believe they
That's
did.
false info,
I'm just
but
saying. I think they did.
I think they made him a
But
goblin.
anyway,
who
either way,
refers to other goblins.
More and more worried. I mean, all of a sudden, if all your 1/1s are now 2/2s, and you know your double strikes now 2/2, and all of these other things, 2/2 is much obviously better than 1/1.
Absolutely,
And
twice
it's
as good actually.
and it's quite scary.
Yeah, here's some other
Okay,
things to add to that as well, just for fun.
Animosity, shared animosity. Whenever a creature you control attacks, gets +1/+0 for each other attacking creature. So this is basically a built-in pile driver.
Yep.
This is a
Like-
mini built-in pile driver. So if you attack with 5 goblins,
Woo!
all goblins will get +4/+0.
That's scary.
And if you had that battalion
And that's
out where
turn
they have
3.
trample and first strike and
You give
Yeah.
everything haste. That's pretty scary. And then Hall of Triumph. Choose a color. Now the only concern here is you choose a color. Obviously, Tim would choose red. Creatures. Oh, it's just you control. So
Just you control.
So that's good.
This one won't pump any opponent's guys. Truth be told, in a goblin deck, we probably want more Goblin Kings or something like Goblin
Than
King
Hall
than a
of
Hall of
Triumph.
Triumph.
if you didn't have them,
You know.
Yeah,
costing.
it could be. So we've got some good things here for Tim's deck. I'm actually kind of frightened at how fast some of these can get.
But it's still Tim playing it, so I'm not.
Ouch. He's so sad. Don't be mean to Tim.
Dang.
We love you, Tim, wherever you are.
No, on the road I was Team Justin,
actually,
but now that I'm back in the office.
I'm just thinking about it now. Tim's probably on his way to Orange right now to make sure everybody's okay there. So we're thinking about you. But don't worry, we've got
Stay
your
fire.
magic deck. Got your magic deck in good hands. So anyway, that's kind of it for us today. One of the things we got coming up, one of the stories is kind of always lurks under the underbelly of Magic, fake cards.
Definitely.
Getting caught purchasing fake cards. A lot of times people don't know. People don't know what to look for, especially, there are a lot of cards out there, a lot of different vendors. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and kind of give you guys an idea of what to look for when you're buying cards, especially at these trade shows. Different conventions, like non-Magic conventions. You can always be a little weary depending on who's selling those cards.
Definitely.
If they don't have a store, like a permanent brick and mortar set up, you never know what's going on. So we're just giving you a couple little tips, kind of what to look for, and then we'll have Tim play a couple Goblin games, maybe against Alfredo or somebody. We'll see how it does before we unleash him against either Christian or Josh here. But yeah. Oh, so Lord Chelsea's letting us know Goblin King, in fact, is other now.
Yeah.
So
It is
other
now
goblins.
Goblin,
Yeah.
It says
Other. It
Plus
is
one,
other.
plus one.
So that's kind of what we expected, but
I'm just
still,
if the card says.
yeah. This is what the
But
card
also says Lords,
says.
doesn't say Goblins. So.
Read the card. Yeah, I did.
Actually, I see.
They always anyway. But so that's what we got coming up for you. We got a lot of good stuff. Obviously, again, we got more standard to play. We got some things. We'll see if Ixalan can make a little bit bigger of a splash.
Oh yeah.
We'll
I think
see.
it already has, honestly.
I think sealed. I think the format it's so good right now. Like it's so much fun. So we'll definitely let you know how we do. Christian, Josh, thanks for being here, guys. Until next week, I'm David,
Thanks,
and
guys.
thanks for watching Magic Mondays.